The MeidasTouch network may or may not have had a little bit of fun today at Donald Trump's criminal trial. And again, I'm not saying we had anything to do with this, but when Donald Trump sent his propaganda squad, they're being called the right-wing tie brigade. Some people are saying they're getting their outfits at Dictators Our Us. Let's just say there were people ready for them this time. So when they tried to spread their hateful propaganda, they were drowned out. Once again, watch what happened outside of the Donald Trump criminal trial, where Donald Trump sent his the latest batch of his red tie brigade. It had like Kash Patel, other MAGA Republican Congress members. It was so pathetic, but they were met with this. Play this clip.
Guilty! 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 Don't piss off! Stop pissing off! Stop pissing off! You're pissing off! Stop pissing off!
Go back to Lakers! Go back to Lakers!
Olivia Newsy, reporter, she was there as well, and she said, in what has become a custom, Trump surrogates dressed uniformly just like Donald Trump. This is not lost on the protesters who are calling them red tie terrorists. So take a look right here. We've got someone saying, thank you for all your work for justice. Midas Mighty political beatdown signs. That's nice. That's cool. Here is Olivia Newsy saying how Trump surrogates are attempting to address the media outside of the Manhattan criminal court, but they're being drowned out by anti-Trump protesters. Let me show you this.
A real prosecutor doesn't prosecute.
Go home, you carpetbagging
Olivia Newsy reports that Bernard Kerik is one of the people who are there, who's being drowned out by chants of, among other things, bald-headed bigot. Bald-headed bigot. Okay. Kash Patel was drowned out by chants of, Kash Patel, go to hell. Kash Patel, go to hell. Here is another video right here from Olivia Newsy of what was going outside, what was going down outside of the courthouse. Play this clip.
If you thought houseplants were just for decoration, think again. NeoPX from Neoplants brings science and nature together to create a living, air-purifying powerhouse for your home. NeoPX is the world's first plant microbiome system bioengineered to purify the air in your home. Indoor air can be up to 5 times more polluted than outdoors, mainly due to harmful pollutants called VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, that are constantly emitted indoors from thousands of common household products like furniture, paint, cosmetics, and more. NeoPX was invented by PhD scientists to target 3 of the most harmful VOCs found in your home, and is up to 30 times better than a regular houseplant at fighting indoor air pollution. It is based on on 5 years of research and development to enable NeoPX to capture and recycle VOCs into useful matter like sugar and amino acids. Every month, you just pour the bioengineered formula called Power Drops onto the plant's soil to supercharge NeoPX's air pollution capacity. NeoPX comes with a self-watering planter called the Shell, so you only have to water it every 2 to 3 weeks. My existing air purifiers at home make up for a fair amount of my electricity bill, but with NeoPX, I can get clean air with just some sun and water, and it looks great in my home. When you purchase NeoPX, you'll receive 6 Power Drop pouches, and to celebrate the launch, Neoplants is offering a 7th pouch free of charge. That's 1 extra month of pure air. So go to neoplants.com/Meidas and the code will be applied automatically at checkout. Shipping available within the US and soon to many more countries. That's neoplants.com/Meidas.
Newsy also reports that Trump's senior advisor, Jason Miller, chuckled when one of the protesters yelled at the group, "Where do you buy your suits from? Dictators are us." And then she finally says, well, that was a disaster. And look, we've been reporting here how Donald Trump's been sending his surrogates each and every day to the criminal courthouse, and he dresses them up. Remember last week you had Matt Gaetz, you had Anna Paulina Luna, you had Andy Biggs, you had like a dozen MAGA Republican Congress members showed up last week. I'm not just making this up. Trump actually dresses them up in long red ties so that they look like him, and they all have to pose for him, and they all have to say how unfair the trial is, and they don't even really go inside the trial itself. They just show up as part of his entourage so that they could spread all of the disinformation for him. That's part of what he kind of has them do. So you had about a dozen at the end of last week. Then before that, you had like MAGA Republican senators, J.D. Vance. You had MAGA Republican Senator Rick Scott, MAGA Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville. And they just go out, right? And they just whine how unfair things are. And and then you had, of course, MAGA Republican Speaker of the House, as well, MAGA Mike Johnson. Who can forget that? And they just go out and they just whine. And so for a while, they would go out there and they would not get booed, and they would do their, ridiculous right-wing propaganda stuff. And now, I think that there's a crowd forming. And again, I'm not saying that, we had anything to do with it. Ron Filipkowski may. I mean, he said, we were ready for this nonsense today. No peace for the propaganda shows from now on. So our editor-in-chief may be going a little bit further than I'm going right now. But there was that sign. Remember when Gates was there, you had the bootlicker sign. So that was the start of it. And again, I'm not saying Meidas has anything to do with anything today or anything to do with any of this. But here's Tommy Tuberville. Let me show you just some of these lowlights of how pathetic it is. Here's MAGA Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville whining about how depressing things are. Play this clip.
Respect. Here's what I'm seeing too. It is depressing. That courtroom is depressing. This is New York City, the icon of our country. And we got a courtroom that's the most depressing thing I've ever been in. Mental anguish is trying to be pushed on the Republican candidate for the President of the United States this year.
Here was the MAGA Republican Speaker of the House attacking the judge's daughter. Play this clip.
And meanwhile, among the atrocities here, the judge's own daughter is making millions of dollars doing online fundraising for Democrats.
Here was MAGA Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Who even knows what she's talking about here? Play this clip.
More to Colin, who admitted to lying to members of Congress, that's contempt of Congress, just so that you are tracking. And I want to follow it up by saying this. It is by no coincidence that you have Goldman, a member of House Oversight who's a Democrat, prepared Colin for his testimony, is also retained by the judge's daughter as a client. Does that seem like it's not sham to you?
MAGA Republican Lauren Boebert. This was before we got, not us, people showed up. play this clip.
And I want all of the news to start asking the question, what is the crime? Because everyone in this court has not been informed of what the crime is. The defendant does not know the crime that was committed.
And then, you know, it's a disaster outside of the courthouse. It was a disaster in the courthouse. I'll do a video in a little bit about how cross-examination of Michael Cohen was really bad by Donald Trump's lawyers. I'll break that down in more detail and in more depth. Very rookie mistakes by Trump's lawyers. Boring cross-exam. They scored a few punches, people said. You know, not what corporate media is saying. They scored a few punches, but Cohen was honest and real and went fine. And so that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. And we're going to head close to a verdict. Not this week, but there'll be a verdict, I think, next week. And we'll keep you posted each step of the way. And again, not saying Meidas had anything to do with any of this. Okay? Just letting you know. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and subscribe.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.